Welcome back to CEO Money. I'm Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining with me. I have Jimmy Nguyen. He is the president of Bitcoin Association and a world-renowned leader and authority on what's going on with Bitcoin. Jimmy, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Thanks. I'm glad to be here to talk about Bitcoin.
I am too. Before we get into that, I wanted you to give us some background on yourself, what Bitcoin Association's real mantra and goal is, and then I want to get into some of the new things that you've got, the new future plans for Bitcoin SV.
Sure. So I am a former IP and digital tech lawyer for 21 years from the United States. I left legal practice a few years ago after a life in law firm partnership, and I joined nChain, which is one of the leading blockchain research and development businesses in the world. We're focused on Bitcoin. So I was its CEO, and now I chair its strategic advisory board. I also am the founding president of the Bitcoin Association, which is a worldwide organization dedicated to growing the business of Bitcoin. It's designed for all the businesses in the ecosystem: merchants, exchanges, application developers, miners, as well as big enterprises that want to build their applications on Bitcoin. We believe that the true original Bitcoin is the best. That is now living in the form of Bitcoin SV, which I'm here to talk about. And we'll understand how Bitcoin is kind of veered from its original vision from 10 years ago and is restored finally in the form of Bitcoin SV.
Tell me about the veer and getting it back on track.
Sure. If you follow Bitcoin's history, it's 10 years old now. And Bitcoin has never, if we're really honest, fully flourished to achieve its great potential. And that's because developer groups that took control of the protocol of the original, the first BTC, we'll call it, or Bitcoin Core, locked the block cap to 1 megabyte in size. That was supposed to be a temporary measure. And instead, they pursued, instead of scaling the chain very large to fit huge amounts of transactions on the chain, they're pursuing an alternate path where they're moving the transactions off of the chain to what's called the Lightning Network. They introduced also other changes, including segregated witness, which forever changed what Bitcoin is by cutting off the digital signatures that are critical to the definition of Bitcoin in the Satoshi white paper. And that led to the hard fork in August of 2017 that created Bitcoin Cash. Instead of keeping the block cap at 1 megabyte, Bitcoin Cash was birthed with this idea of, let's go to bigger blocks. Let's go to what Bitcoin was designed to do, massive scaling. So we supported that for a period of time until it became clear last year that the developer groups, for them, wanted to again make significant changes to the original Bitcoin protocol. And that's why we took a stand last November, created a competing software implementation, which is called Bitcoin SV. It stands for Satoshi Vision, because our mission is very simple: restore the original Bitcoin protocol. Stop developers constantly experimenting with it, constantly making changes to it, and veering away from what's no longer Bitcoin, and let it just scale to massive blocks. We're pursuing a big block plan where right now our default block cap is 128 megabytes, not 1 megabyte on BTC, not 32 megabytes on Bitcoin Cash, but 128. Later this year, we're going to 512. By the end of the year, we'll be at 1 to 2 gigabytes. And one day there will be no cap. And the blockchain will be able to become the global data ledger of the future that combines both cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, as money, but also information services. And that's when the full power of Bitcoin is going to be unleashed with the Satoshi Vision.
Is there any more to the logistics of what you're going to be doing in the future with Bitcoin SV beyond what you just mentioned?
So 2 key steps define our roadmap. 1, restore the original Bitcoin protocol. Developer groups have gone in and tinkered in. They've removed certain scripting language. They have turned off certain technical features. You know, we have all these cryptocurrencies now. We have far too many, right? We have like 1,000 cryptocurrencies. And that's because everyone started trying to create the next version of Bitcoin that could do something else. Our belief is very simple. Bitcoin in its original protocol has all of the technical capabilities that you need to do what any other cryptocurrency tries to do: tokens, smart contracts, privacy, Internet of Things communications. All of that can be done in the Bitcoin protocol if you just restore the original protocol and allow it to scale massively. So step 1 is restoring the original protocol back to what's called Satoshi version 0.1, the very first version of the Bitcoin client software. And then implementing technical measures to improve scaling, lifting the block cap, delivering solutions to make it easier for nodes to handle big blocks so that Bitcoin becomes the massive global data ledger. So those are the two key initiatives on our roadmap. And it's basically getting back to the original, getting back to basics, what Bitcoin was birthed to be, so that we don't, like the world operates on a single global internet, we should operate on one global blockchain. We shouldn't be operating with 1,000 cryptocurrencies or 100 different blockchains. There should be one. And we believe that's going to be the original Bitcoin in the form of Bitcoin SV.
Thank you for that answer. That's a great answer. Now, CoinGeek Conference. Tell us about this.
Yeah, so CoinGeek is one of our key partners in the Bitcoin SV ecosystem. They have a media site, they run events, and they are one of the largest miners in the Bitcoin SV world. So I host and help organize their series of worldwide conferences. We did our first in Hong Kong last year, in London last December, and our next one's coming up. It's coming to North America, Toronto, May 29th and 30th. We're bringing together leaders in this ecosystem to talk about scaling and how Bitcoin can achieve great things if it just no longer has limits. So some of the top minds and leaders in Bitcoin SV, including nChain's chief scientist, Dr. Craig Wright, one of the biggest names in Bitcoin, will be there. But we also want to send the signal that it's inclusive. We welcome anyone interested in learning about Bitcoin SV, even if they work with other blockchains and cryptocurrency projects. So come join us. May 29th and 30th at the Carlu in Toronto. It's going to be a great time. One of the best after parties in all of the events. The most fun you'll ever have in Bitcoin, I say. And you'll actually get to see me interview Dr. Craig right at the end, talking about the questions about whether he's Satoshi Nakamoto and the beginnings of Bitcoin.
I've been to the Bitcoin conferences in the past, and I'm going to tell you right now from experience, 30 years in the investment industry, this is the best group of people for the after party I have ever met in my entire life.
Well, I'm glad you said it, because you know what? Bitcoin's serious business, but I think we should be able to have fun too. So even as we on Bitcoin SV are working hard to professionalize and grow up Bitcoin from its kind of crypto anarchist, beginnings to something big enterprises feel comfortable using, we also want to have fun at the same time. I think that's a total win, as I like to say.
It is. Now you have other speaking engagements coming up?
I do. I'm actually in Miami at the moment after some meetings en route to Jamaica. I'm speaking at a Visionaires Tech Festival and Summit in Jamaica. I will be then headed to Europe for some meetings, and I am speaking at Paris Blockchain Week, an event in Amsterdam, and a whole series. So I'm doing the worldwide tour about spreading the message of how Bitcoin SV has brought the original Bitcoin back, and it's going to fully unleash the power of it. One thing I should mention, since we're doing this interview right now, is just over the last few days, Bitcoin SV has mined the largest blocks ever on a public blockchain. People have learned how to upload large files, such as high-resolution pictures, to the BSV blockchain, and some users have been running a stress test. And starting on Thursday, we saw 113 megabyte blocks, and over this weekend, 2 128 megabyte blocks, filling the current block cap. This is becoming a regular occurrence on Bitcoin SV, and it's showing how if you just believed in the original power of Bitcoin as opposed to trying to limit it or be afraid of what it could do, you can achieve the most powerful blockchain in the world that biggest businesses will want to work on.
I agree. And with the advance of telecommunications, 5G network coming out in the near future, I can see this is just going to sail.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, Bitcoin, what people don't understand, they think of it as just a cryptocurrency, a monetary, replacement. Instead, we think of it as much more. It is the ability to merge financial transactions with information and data transactions. And when you combine those two, you can create a powerful new world. In fact, we have a project called the MetaNet. The idea that the Bitcoin blockchain can be used to power and subsume the whole internet one day. So all the internet activities that we engage in can be somehow managed through the Bitcoin blockchain. And there's all this controversy right now, for example, over Facebook and social media platforms about how they sell user data or access user data. Imagine a world one day where they're not selling your user data, but there's a social media platform where you as a user have control of your own user data, and advertisers may pay you in micropayments to access it, or maybe anytime you engage in an activity, a share, a like, there's payments being made to you for getting access to your data, and instead of having advertisements served at you, there's this whole new economy of micropayments that can be powered with Bitcoin SV.
Definitely cutting edge. All right, Jimmy, thanks for being a guest on today's show. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, and good luck with all the things you're doing for CEO Money.
Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, you've been watching CEO Money with Michael Yorba. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.